Hello there. I've had another question from a subscriber about how do we care for trees between the early planting year and when we come to actually harvest the trees. And there are a few different steps that we take as foresters. Once we've planted the trees, we're then monitoring the trees to see how much weed competition there is, because particularly grasses and brambles are good at outcompeting the trees and suppressing the growth. We'll do that weeding either with hand tools, with brush cutters, or we'll use spot spraying using glyphosate. We'll also, depending on the type of crop, particularly conifer crops, we'll monitor for the presence of Hylobaeus arboetis, the pine weevil, and if necessary, we'll spray insecticide to reduce the impact of the Hylobaeus outbreak, because they can have significant mortality in the crops. And then as the trees get older, from about 6 or 7 years old, we'll monitor to see whether we need to clean or respace the trees. This is typically done with a brush cutter, sometimes with a chainsaw if the trees are of a size. And we'll go through cleaning out, taking out trees that have intruded the planting. So if we're aiming for a crop of, say, productive Douglas fir, we'll cut out competing pine or birch trees that will affect the spacing and the timber quality, and also compete with the crop trees for nutrients. Or we may find that the regeneration, let's just say it's Douglas fir we're maintaining, there's regeneration of Douglas fir within the crop, and actually we need to cut out the additional trees so that we get that 2 metre spacing, which is optimal for the first 12 years of a young conifer stand. And we would do the same for broadleaves as well. With broadleaves, we'd be removing tree guards, whether they're plastic or recyclable tubes, and getting them off the site and recycled, disposed of appropriately. And alongside all that, in those years, we'll be maintaining public access points, maintaining the roads, filling potholes, and making sure the rides are cut back with mowers. And then we get to the point where at 20 years old for conifers and maybe 30 years old for the broadleaves, we'll start to do the thinning. And we'll go in with a harvesting machine and a forwarder machine, take out the low trees, make sure we've got a fine crop of residual trees, and we'll make money on the timber that's come out from the thinnings, and the trees that are remaining are stimulated by additional space in the canopy to put on root growth and stem growth, so that we have bigger logs that are more valuable when we sell them at the end of the rotation. So those are some of the things that we do to maintain our trees. I did forget pruning, so we'll also do pruning of high value trees. We try and get up to 6 metres, cleaning off epicomic shoots and things, but we don't do that very often, and it's done particularly in agroforestry systems, particularly in the southern hemisphere with the bigger growth rates. I'm Andrew Sorby, and I'm your friendly neighbourhood chartered forester.